Jamie Lee Curtis has been in the spotlight for decades, but her marriage? It's not what you think. On the surface, she and her husband, Christopher Guest, seem like Hollywood's rare success story. Together for nearly 40 years, no public scandals, no messy breakups. But behind closed doors, things aren't as simple as they appear. In fact, there's something about their relationship that might completely change the way you see them. Jamie Lee was never your typical Hollywood star. Born into fame as the daughter of legendary actors Tony Curtis and Janet Leigh, she grew up surrounded by glitz and glamour. But despite her privileged background, she struggled with self-doubt and never saw herself as a classic leading lady. When she landed her breakout role in Halloween, it wasn't just a career-defining moment, it was a lifeline. Hollywood had a way of chewing people up and spitting them out, and Jamie was determined not to be another casualty. But while the world knew her as the ultimate scream queen, her personal life was far more complicated. Before meeting Christopher Guest, Jamie had been through heartbreak and failed relationships. She once admitted that she felt lost in love and didn't think she'd ever find the one. Then, in a moment straight out of a movie, everything changed. She was flipping through Rolling Stone magazine when she saw a picture of Christopher. Something about him struck her, and without even meeting him, she told a friend, "I'm going to marry that man." Sounds crazy, right? But hold on, because what happened next was even crazier. Jamie got her friend to reach out to Christopher's agent, but he never responded. Most people would take that as a sign to move on, but fate had other plans. Months later, they ran into each other at a restaurant, and just like that, the spark was undeniable. 3 months later, they were engaged. It sounds like a fairy tale, but here's where things take a turn. Jamie and Christopher's marriage was never what Hollywood expected. They weren't the glamorous red carpet couple, and they rarely spoke about their relationship in interviews. Unlike most celebrity marriages, there were no over-the-top romantic gestures, no staged paparazzi moments, just two people who kept their love private. But it wasn't always smooth sailing. Jamie has been open about her struggles with addiction, admitting that for years she battled painkiller dependency in secret. She even called it her greatest shame. Many marriages would crumble under that kind of pressure, but Christopher stayed. He never made a big show of saving her, never ran to the media with sob stories. Instead, he quietly supported her recovery, proving that love isn't always about grand gestures, it's about showing up when it matters most. But here's the part that really sets their marriage apart. Jamie has said that she and Christopher don't even have a traditional love story. In fact, she once admitted that they aren't overly romantic. No big anniversary celebrations, no dramatic declarations of love. To some, that might sound strange, even cold. But to them, it's exactly why their marriage works. She once said, "We don't talk about our marriage, we just live it." And maybe that's the secret. Even after decades together, Jamie still finds herself in awe of Christopher's humor, calling him the funniest person she knows. And while most Hollywood couples fall apart after a few years, they've built a life that isn't based on fame, but on genuine companionship. She even joked that their love is less about passion and more about simply putting one foot in front of the other, day after day, year after year. But here's something even more surprising. Jamie believes that part of their success is that they don't try to control each other. Christopher, who is known for his work in films like This Is Spinal Tap, has always done his own thing, and Jamie has done hers. They respect each other's space, interests, and careers, which is pretty rare in Hollywood, where egos often get in the way. And let's not forget one of the most touching aspects of their relationship: parenthood. Jamie and Christopher adopted their 2 children, and Jamie has been incredibly open about how that experience changed her. She's fiercely protective of her family, refusing to let Hollywood dictate how they should live. And when their child, Ruby, came out as transgender, Jamie didn't just support her. She became a vocal advocate, proving once again that love, for her, is about action, not words. So, when people say Jamie Lee Curtis has a perfect marriage, they're missing the real story. It's not perfect. It's not some grand Hollywood romance filled with dramatic love stories and sweeping gestures. It's real, it's messy, and it's built on something far stronger than just passion. It's built on respect, commitment, and an unshakable bond that has lasted decades.